When are you going to tell me about this mysterious fate? Phase 3.
No, I can't talk about that.
She's been at it for over 2 hours. What is she even...
Excuse me, Doctor?
Nothing.
Ah,
At this
it's you.
point, she's just doing it for fun.
You're here then. Yes, I know who you are. We all do. While I'm sure Father is very happy that you're here, I do hope it doesn't interrupt our work.
Don't worry. I promise I won't get in your way.
Thank you, I do appreciate that. Oh, before I forget, let me see that Pip-Boy of yours. I've been told to install a Courser chip in it for you. Father's orders. You're to be given full access, with the ability to relay in and out of the Institute at will.
Thank you. I'm sure that'll come in handy.
Given that the relay is the only way to access the Institute, handy is something of an understatement. In case the significance is lost on you, you'll be the only one here with that kind of access. If nothing else, it should demonstrate the amount of trust Father has placed in you. Now, unless there's something else, I really do need to get back to work.
I'd like a progress report on your division, if you don't mind.
Taking your new appointment in stride, I see. Very well. We've shifted resources off of other projects, like the Child Synth, to focus on Phase 3. I'm hoping that the above-ground efforts are successful. I understand those depend heavily on you.
No visible reaction indicating you know the protocol, sir. Authorized personnel only.
So Dr.
Greetings,
Ayo
sir.
thinks he can hide.
I'm seriously thinking of heading over to robotics to knock
You're
some
here.
heads together.
Glad you made it.
They're dragging their feet on the targeting package upgrades I asked for. Maybe.
Hi, Doc.
So,
Please don't.
here
There's
you
enough
are.
friction as it is
Justin
between
Ayo,
us and
acting
pretty
director
much
of the
all
Synth
other
Retention Bureau.
departments.
I'll be upfront with you. We're going to be keeping a close eye on you for the near future, despite your alone quantity.
I'm sure you understand. There won't be any issues, will there?
Why? Don't you trust me?
I'll be honest. You're an outsider.
The first outsider to be allowed access to the Institute in quite a long time, in fact. There's little precedent for this situation, so it's only natural to take extra precautions, It's nothing personal, I assure you.
Now, Father has asked that I provide you with a brief overview of the Synth Retention Bureau. Our primary responsibility is the recovery of escaped synths that are hiding among the human population on the surface.
I'm sure it's best for everyone if the synths remain here.
Certainly. We can't allow sophisticated Institute technology to fall into the wrong hands. The results could be disastrous. Our main instrument is the Courser, a third-generation synth assigned to operate on the surface. Coursers hunt down and reclaim synths that have escaped the Institute. They are highly self-sufficient, trained in combat, infiltration, and tracking. In a word, our Coursers are relentless. But I gather you know all this, since you've encountered one already. In fact, I'd very much like to know how you defeated it.
I'm no stranger to combat.
Even so, a Courser should be more than a match for any single combatant. I suppose I'll have to ask robotics to perform detailed diagnostics on the entire production run. As if we don't have enough problems. Now, unless you need something else, I'll get back to work.
I'm good for now. Thanks.
Very well.
The Directorate should take the synth escapes more seriously.
Unknown identity. Clearance confirmed.
can return to your duties. And remember, every symptom is...
Do we really need all these coursers roaming the halls?
Now that you've had a chance to see the Institute firsthand, what do you think?
You've got technology here that I never dreamed possible. It's amazing.
I'm glad you can appreciate what we've accomplished. None of it has been easy. Ultimately, all our knowledge and resources are focused on a single goal. The goal is best summarized by our motto: mankind, redefined. Unfortunately, no advancement comes without occasional setbacks. As remarkable as our synths are, they can be dangerous without proper supervision. The superior synth mind and body attempting to wrestle with something approaching free will can be a recipe for chaos.
If the synths are intelligent and self-aware, then they have a right to free will.
However closely they may approximate human behavior, they are still our creations. When you see what I have to show you, I think you'll agree that we know what is best for our synths. A rogue synth has taken over the Raider gang at Libertalia. His memories have been erased, and his identity altered. He believes he's a man named Gabriel. Under his leadership, the Raiders have taken many innocent lives. I've dispatched a courser to Libertalia. I'd like you to join him and reclaim that synth.
We'll bring that synth home.
That would be best for everyone. Now you should get moving. Many people are in danger, and a delay could cost lives.
I hope you're buying. Even a girl with an arsenal full of weapons needs to make a living, after all.
I'll take a look, sure.
A gun for every...
Hey, Cleo.
Don't worry. I only test.
I've got a few minutes to browse.
Let's get you.
Maiden's out to an early lead, but Piece of Junk's right behind. Iron Maiden is still in the lead. This is one hell of a race.
Hey, keep your eyes open.
It's a great night out at the track. Hey, boys. You all get your bets in? I sure did. We got some fine mods in this race.
I'm ready to move in, sir.
You must be the courser I'm supposed to meet.
Yes, sir. Designation X688. I've already neutralized the perimeter guard. Just give the word, and we can start the assault on the main flotilla.
All right, let's go.
Right behind you, sir.
Piece of Junk is really showing off those new mods. Bob's your uncle is coming up fast. Don't forget Boston Blaster. He's pulled this out before. This is one hell of a race. It's a great night out at the track. Hey, boys. Got a good, clean race today. Absolutely no funny.
I don't think we're alone.
we're alone.
Whatever it was, it's... What's that?
Reels?
Every last one. I don't think we're alone.
spotted.
Engage the target.
Tired yet? I'm gonna make this as painful as possible.
Hold up a moment, sir. There's something important I need to tell you.
I'm listening.
I'm going to give you B592's reset code. If he hears the code phrase, it'll reset his cognitive processes and make him docile. You'll need to say B592 initialize factory reset, followed by the authorization code Gamma 71 Epsilon. Once he's shut down, I can transport him safely back to the Institute.
Good. I'd like to avoid any unnecessary violence.
Precisely. Shouldn't have to bloody any more noses than we have to.
Well, he might not be alone up there. Violence might be inevitable. That's all, sir. Ready when you are.
Hey.
Hey.
Go on.
Bingo.
Well done. By your gear, I'm gonna guess you were agents just like me. So, made it to the top. Is the Institute so desperate?
Gabriel, you aren't who you think you are. You're a synth, and we're here to take you home.
Sin? What the hell are you talking about?
I remember my whole life. I know where I grew up and who my parents were. Explain that to me.
B592, initialize factory reset, authorization Gamma 71 Epsilon.
You okay? Gabriel, can you hear me? Shit,
Figured it might be prettier from up here.
relay would reclaim synth B592.
I can rest easy knowing that Wolfgang is rotten in hell. Thank you.
I've got a few minutes to browse.
It's all worth every cap I'm charging.
No accounting for taste. Playing hide and seek.
I can rest easy knowing that Wolfgang is rotten in hell. Thank you.
I'll take a look, sure.
All salvage.
What are you building?
We're all looking forward to working with you.
Mankind redefined. It's catchy, isn't it?
I'm glad to see you return safely. I know that...
Gabriel and his gang were sick bastards, hanging their victims up like trophies. I'm just glad it's over.
While we can do nothing for Gabriel's victims, we can at least take comfort in the knowledge that the threat has been removed. But enough about that. The task is done. And you've returned our synth safely to us. I couldn't have hoped for a better outcome. Well done. While you were away, I had quarters prepared for you. You'll find all the basic necessities, as well as a generous stock of arms and equipment. Go and have a look. I think you'll be quite pleased.
It's an honor to have you here, sir.
System's malfunctioning. Can you not see the grime and dust? Don't make excuses. You're clearly defective, and I intend to report this. Perhaps after you've been disassembled, we can use your components to make something that's actually useful.
Your quarters are just inside, sir. When you're finished here, sir, Father wants to see you.
Hey there.
Sir.
Spend enough time here, you'll be sick to death of the word sick. I certainly am.
Sean.
Ah. Hello, Father. Tell me, what would you do when someone has stolen from you?
I try and talk it out, see if things can be resolved peacefully.
An admirable goal. And yet we find ourselves in a situation where something more significant must be done. The group that calls themselves the Railroad have acquired several synths from the Institute. Synths that had gone missing in recent months. And they no doubt mean to free these synths, in their delusion that synths are somehow sentient beings. You've been in contact with guided beliefs?
They mean well. They're only doing what they think is right.
You dealt with Libertalia. That's the result of their selfish, short-sighted plan. Usually they are a minor nuisance, but lately they have become more emboldened. I'm afraid we've reached the point where a response is necessary. We have learned the current location of these synths, and need to reacquire them before the Railroad can hide them.
Sounds pretty simple.
Hopefully, yes. But it's important that we act on this soon. before the Railroad has any indication we've tracked them. We also don't want the Brotherhood of Steel getting wind of the presence of the synths. That would only complicate matters.
I'll act quickly. You can count on me.
You'll have a contact waiting for you just outside Bunker Hill. Good luck.
What the fuck was that?
You paid for that!
Hey, Synth.
I've been waiting for you.
Sorry to have held you up.
Try and keep up from here out. Our targets are inside. 4 synths under railroad protection. Majority of the situation, we move in.
Yeah, we've got this.
Remember,
This isn't our first road.
Here are the recall codes. SRB intelligence reports indicate that the synths are being held below the main structure of the cell. It would appear that the Brotherhood of Steel Here we go. Going range.
You there, Synth.
Come on, please. Just don't.
B257, initiate reset. Authorization code Theta 93 Stratus.
Here they are.
God, it's a Courser.
Issue the reset codes and we'll relay back to the Institute. Time is critical.
No sudden moves.
Please, no.
Y915, initiate reset. Authorization code Beta 77 Tempest. All right, Synth.
Please.
Z322, initiate reset. Authorization code Gamma 49 Typhoon. I've been looking for you.
No, I've got money. It's yours if you let me go.
F633, initiate reset. Authorization code Delta 62 Arcus.
That's all of them. Objective complete. Return to the town. Make sure all hostiles have been eliminated. I will relay the synths back to the Institute. Report to Father upon your return, and good work.
real menace. Glad it's back where it belongs.
Someone there? Movement detected. Curious. Actuator. What's that? I am the victim of violence.
Hello?
Die!
Is someone present?
You know, in all my years, I've never set foot outside the Institute. Not once. Since the day they brought me here. I've never had a reason. But now, this just confirms the truth I've always known. The Commonwealth is dead. There's no future here. The only hope for humanity lies below.
It's not so bad, really. People manage.
Perhaps. But at a cost too great to be worth it. Standing here, I'm reminded of how fortunate I am that I was spared a life in this wasteland. I know that to you, I was kidnapped from that vault. In truth, the Institute rescued me. Both of us, really.
They kept me alive, too.
They did, indeed. I was the perfect candidate. An infant with uncorrupted DNA. But if something were to go wrong, if I died, well, the Institute realized a contingency plan was prudent. Another source of pre-war DNA, preferably related to their primary subject. It only made sense that my parents should fill that role. So you were kept alive and safe within the vault. I'll admit, when I had you released from Vault 111, I had no expectations that you'd survive out here in all this. To not only do so, but manage to find me. To infiltrate the Institute itself. Extraordinary.
So it was you. You let me out.
Yes. It was my decision. Certainly it was no longer necessary to keep you suspended. Well, I suppose I wanted to see what would happen. An experiment of sorts. I had no idea what kind of man you were, you see. Would the Commonwealth corrupt you, as it has everything else? Would you even survive? Perhaps most curious to me, would you, after all this time, attempt to find me? And now I know the answer.
Sean, you need to know. I still love you.
I can see that you do. Well, it's remarkable. There are greater things to come after your success at Bunker Hill. The synths have been safely returned and will be repurposed. Thank you for your work. I hope you weren't at too much risk.
There's always a risk. It was worth it.
I'm glad you see it that way. The railroad remains an annoyance, of course. But they'll be dealt with as necessary. And you, well, you've passed the test, as they say. You have done well. Please, take this as a token of my appreciation. Our appreciation, really. It's time for you to become more involved in the future of the Institute. I'd like you to join me inside. The Directorate is meeting, and you should be there. I'll be waiting. I've seen enough. It's time to go back in. Let's get this Directorate meeting over with before we speak further. It's important. Good, we're all here. I think it's time we begin.
Sir, excuse me, but what exactly is he doing here?
I will address that issue. But there are other subjects that require our attention first. The level of unrest in the Commonwealth continues to rise, as we're all aware. Your report.
All Institute facilities remain completely secure with the exception of one notable breach. Otherwise, internally, things are as tight as they've ever been. Dr. Ayo has been keeping an eye on things topside.
Yes, Watchers show no additional threats beyond those previously identified. Boston International Airport remains occupied, with Brotherhood presence noted at several other points throughout the Commonwealth. Intelligence suggests that this railroad continues to operate and is becoming more ambitious. SRB agents are monitoring all known situations, sir.
Very good, thank you. It's clear that our safety needs to be the primary concern going forward. To that end, where are we on Phase 3?
Sir, are you sure this is the time to be discussing it? Given, well, considering all parties present?
Ah, yes, that's true. Have you heard anything about Phase 3?
Of course.
Really? No, there's no shame in being out of the loop, as it were. The project has been classified for quite a long time. Power is, as I'm sure you've seen above ground, a very valuable commodity. I'm not talking about some abstract concept of control. I mean real, tangible power. The kind that keeps the lights on. With every advance the Institute makes, our need for raw power increases. Many compromises and sacrifices have been made over the years to allow progress to continue.
In this world, I'm sure a compromise is necessary.
Quite right. For far too long, we've been dependent on others. On our surroundings. That time is over. Phase 3 is simply the activation of a nuclear reactor that can provide enough power to the Institute now and forever. It will ensure not just our survival, but our prosperity.
Sounds like an important step.
Well, that's an understatement. The reactor is close to ready, but recent tests have determined we have a few tasks ahead of us. Thus, we come to Phase 3, and to how you will help.
Sir?
Yes, Dr. Hale. Previously, we would rely on Kellogg for above-ground operations, yes? Well, he is gone. While I'm not overly fond of putting my own father in harm's way, he has proven more than capable of handling himself.
Yes, but...
This is not a matter for debate. Now, there is one more subject that requires discussion.
I don't know that this is the time.
Dr. Holdren, it is time. Please, as I'm sure several of you are already aware, I have been under Dr. Volkert's care for some time. I'm sorry, this is difficult for me. Our best efforts have failed. Every experimental treatment we could devise has been unsuccessful. I'm sorry to say I am dying.
What?
Please,
Can't be serious.
Everyone, please. I am sorry. This is not how I wanted to tell you, but we're running out of time. The only thing that matters now is continuing the Institute's work. It will be all right. I assure you, we can talk more later. Right now, the future of the Institute is at stake. The Institute cannot survive without leadership. The Directorate must continue to govern with the best interest of all in mind. To that end, I am naming my father as my successor.
Oh, boy.
You can't be serious!
Really?
Seems a poor choice.
How can you possibly justify this? He isn't one of us. He isn't even a scientist.
Ignoring your borderline, insubordinate tone, I will simply say this. The Institute has enough scientists. What it needs is a leader. I believe my father has already proven himself more than capable in that regard. This will conclude this meeting. Thank you.
My compliments on getting B592 back to us so quickly.
I had no idea.
I know this is... well, it's a lot to take in at once. I'm sorry, Father. I hope it wasn't too presumptuous of me to put you in charge without even asking first.
I can do the job.
Of course you can. That's why I made the decision. There's no question that some of the Directorate and the Institute at large will need reassurances about your appointment. That's why I'd like you to take charge of this latest operation. Dr. Fillmore can fill you in on the details. There are hard decisions ahead for all of us, but for you especially. I know that you'll do the right thing.
Unit X688 speaks highly of your combat skills.
Busy day for you, isn't it? Well, it's about to get busier. You're going to lead this operation, I'm told.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go over the details. Recent events have upset our timetable. Getting the reactor online has become our #1 priority. It needs to be running, well, yesterday. We're going to have to cut some corners. I'm not thrilled, but it means we'll need to rely on some pre-war tech. You're going to the mass fusion building to acquire a beryllium agitator for us.
Sounds good. I'd appreciate the company.
Not as much as I'd appreciate coming back in one piece. I don't like going above ground unless there's no other option. But here we are, with our options dwindling quickly. Not to put more pressure on you, but we have to move quickly on this. Word is that the Brotherhood is nosing around the area. We don't want them getting the agitator before we do. Head on up to the relay, and I'll meet you there.
Synth unit, you were scheduled for maintenance duty in SRB last night. Anything you'd like?
I guess you're from one of the vaults, huh?
Sounds like those raiders at Libertalia were quite a handful.
Guess we'll have to go through them. Oh.
Fire at will! Heads up, they went dark.
Nice to see someone.
Feel my...
No mercy.
Go. Target located.
Victorio!
Damn, lost him.
Brotherhood lies. This wasn't really what I planned on doing today.
It's an ambush. What was here?
LOL.
fucking kill!
Got it.
That should do it. Elevator ought to have power again.
Wait, what was that?
There's the reactor. Not a bad piece of work for its time.
Yeah, looks great. I prefer it if it's long.
Now cycling airlock. Please wait. Initiating decontamination sequence. Decontamination complete. You may proceed.
to the Institute with the agitator.
Is someone...
They must want to protect something awful precious.
Good evening.
Nice work bringing the road sync.
The Institute's a big place. It might take a while to learn where everything is.
Dr. Fillmore.
I think that was enough excitement for, well, ever. Thank you, really. Couldn't have managed it without you. I'll make sure the agitator gets where it needs to go. I understand Father is anxious to get you involved in something else. You'd better not keep him waiting.
Here, that rogue center. Yes.
see.
Yes, thank you, Doctor. I think that will be all for now.
But I haven't quite finished.
I believe we're done now. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I understand mass fusion was a success, despite interference from the Brotherhood of Steel.
We handled them just fine.
That's what Dr. Fillmore reported. I'm quite pleased at the results. Would have been a terrible setback to lose that technology to those savages. The Brotherhood's intervention must be placed in a larger context, however, given their penchant for hoarding technology. Future conflict with them is guaranteed. We are, after all, keepers of the most advanced technology in the Commonwealth, if not beyond. It also cannot go unnoticed that there were concerns within the Institute about your allegiances. I, of course, never doubted your commitment to our cause. But by directly confronting the Brotherhood, I think you've put some others at ease. I'm proud of you, regardless. The Brotherhood is an issue for the future, and we must focus on the present. And look at me, rambling on like the old man I am. I'm wasting time. You're needed elsewhere at once.
Whatever it is, I can take care of it.
I certainly hope so. While you were working with Dr. Fillmore, a small team was dispatched elsewhere in the Commonwealth. Dr. Thompson was tasked with inviting someone from the Commonwealth to join the Institute.
Sounds simple enough.
It was supposed to be, yes. There was no indication that this would be a problem. But the arrival of the team was an unwelcome surprise to Mr. Wallace. Somewhere along the way, he must have realized we'd been monitoring him from a distance. He called in mercenaries to defend him. I'm sure they're nothing we can't handle. Ensure the safety of the team and Mr. Wallace, and see that they all arrive back here safely. I'll be waiting.
Must make you proud to see all that Father has done, all that he has been.
Goodness sake, be reasonable. I know you can hear me, now open this door.
What's the use? I begged them to stop this nonsense before you returned.
Dr. Higgs and Dr. Loken have decided to protest your appointment as Father's successor. They've taken control of the bioscience security systems and cut off our food supply.
I'm sure they'll calm down in time.
I know these men, and I can assure you they are completely serious.
Maybe I can reason with them.
I believe I can help with that. I can unlock the maintenance tunnel that leads to the bioscience observation room. From there, you should be able to communicate with Higgs and Loken. If you can't reason with them, you can use this holotape to access the command functions on the observation room terminal. That should give you some options. Just please, try to talk to them first. Use violence only as a last resort. Here we are. Just give me a moment. There, it's unlocked.
You must die.
I thought I heard something.
Doc.
If you've come to change our minds, then you're wasting your time.
I know you're angry, but there's a better way to handle this.
Oh, you're wrong. You see, I've tried talking. For years, I've suggested that we do things differently here, but nobody listens. Let's see if anyone can afford to ignore me now.
Father believes in me. The least you can do is give me a chance.
How could you hope to lead us when you hardly know anything about what we do? I'm sure you mean well, but you must see that it's an impossible task.
I'm under no illusion that this will be easy.
Your determination is admirable, if misguided. The truth is simply this. You have no idea what it means to be the director of the Institute.
Can't you at least give me a chance?
A chance? What do you think, Max?
Even the most fastidious researcher will sometimes take a leap of faith. I say let's give it a try.
Very well, then. Open the door, and let's return to the fold.
Since, abort command override and resume normal functions.
Don't have the key.
Unlocked. Since Defense Protocol 1! You have a lot to learn. I honestly thought Dr. Lee or Dr. Holt
Doctor.
would be a
Bravo. I admit I was fearing for the worst, but I can see that I underestimated you.
I'm just glad they listened to reason.
Indeed. There is one further matter to discuss. Obviously, some kind of disciplinary action must be taken here. The question of what form it takes is up to you.
There's no need to drag this out. I believe they learned their lesson.
Your compassion and understanding speak well of you. I'll take that holotape back. I also wanted to offer you something as a more personal expression of gratitude. I know that your work often takes you to the surface where supplies are scarce. I gathered these items together for you. I think you'll find them useful.
Higgs and Loken are lucky to be alive. Not everyone would have handled that situation as well as...
Good evening. You showed a lot of leniency with Dr. Higgs and Dr. Loken.
Reveal yourself. Resetting threat level.
Nice.
Sensor alert. Engaging.
Yes.
Look like a counter doing cartwheels too.
Well, I'm glad to see the relay didn't completely vaporize you.
The interceptor worked. It was rough, but it worked.
Amazing. And what about the serum? Did you find the serum?
Got it right here.
That's it. That's really it. All right. Let's see. Retrovirus has matured nicely. Density gradient is high. Recombinant counter-intron sequences look stable.
Protect and
Transcriptive
serve.
exon strands have formed.
That's good.
It is. But there's only one way to know if it works. All right. Here we go. And now, we wait.
It'll work. Don't worry.
I hope so. We just have to let the retrovirus run its course. I'm going to rest for a while. I'm back in a few days, maybe a week, and... well, I guess we'll see. In any event, you kept your end of our bargain. Thank you.
Protect and serve.
Thank God you're here. I was starting to worry we might not make it out of this mess.
Everything's taken care of. You're safe.
It was bad enough when Wallace reacted so poorly to our arrival, but then Gunners? I was not prepared for that. I know he's potentially important to Phase 3 and all, but I'm not sure it's worth putting ourselves in harm's way.
If he's really important to the Institute, then it's worth it.
You're right, I suppose. I know they've been keeping an eye on him for years. Not sure how they originally found him, but probably don't want to know. But once they realized how smart he was and what an asset he could be for Phase 3, they watched pretty closely. I think they even fed him scientific material from time to time to see how good he was, you know, testing him, to see if he was Institute
I will
material.
sub to you.
Let's just get Wallace and get out of here.
No argument from me. Let's go.
Right. There's just, well, there's a slight problem with that. He doesn't want to go with us. I was thinking...
Thanks.
Maybe you could try and talk to him.
No problem. I'm sure I can get him to see reason.
I hope so. We really need him.
Busted. Mr. Wallace, I'm here to talk to you.
You're another one of them, aren't you? Are you a robot?
Can you sub back if you can, please?
Please, try and relax. I know this is an unusual situation.
No!
You're here to kidnap me. That's what you people do, isn't it? If you even are people. I've heard all the stories. I know exactly what happens to people when the Institute shows up. Well, it's not happening to me.
Hey, just calm down, okay? I just want to talk to you.
Fine. What do you want from me?
The Institute needs your help, Mr. Wallace. It's as simple as that.
My help? With what?
The Institute has an engineering problem that your scientific expertise could help solve. In exchange for helping us out, you'd be granted access to the most advanced research facility imaginable. Whatever research you wanted to perform there, I promise, you'd be safe and secure in a way that's completely impossible anywhere else.
You'd be helping us create a better world.
That sounds good. Okay, fine. I'll go.
I'm looking forward to working for you, future director.
There you go,
Okay.
I subbed.
I think we've got this under control now. Thanks. Thanks for the assist.
Hey, I'm here to help. You're welcome.
I really mean it. I owe you one. I'll see you back in the Institute.
Same.
You must be pretty excited being named the next director.
Nothing to report, sir. Greetings, sir.
Thanks, bro.
Suppose I'll never be trusted again.
From what I hear, that rogue Senator Rotaya was a real menace.
Greetings. As the Institute's requisition vendor, I can provide supplies for your missions on the surface. How may I assist you today?
Sure. Let's take a look.
My daddy says your father's daddy, but he looks so much older than you.
Ah, there you are. I cannot express how pleased I am. Our new guest is familiarizing himself with his surroundings. Yet he's already pointed out several inefficiencies in our methods. With his help, Phase 3 will be ready in no time. And it's all thanks to you.
I'm proud to help the Institute. Here's hoping it all pays off.
At this point, there is no doubt. It will succeed, and very shortly. There is one more part for you to play, and I think you might enjoy it. It is time to announce our presence to the Commonwealth, to request that they do not interfere with our plans. You should be the one to do it.
That's a good idea. Hopefully we can prevent violence and save some lives.
Yes, that is one goal. And if you are to be the new director of the Institute, you should be the one to do it. We've prepared some remarks for you to record. Once you're finished, we'll broadcast them to the entire Commonwealth. Use the microphone here and follow the script. It's quite simple. I'm sure you'll do fine, Father.
For years now, you have suspected that the Institute still exists, that we are among you. It is true, but it is not the whole truth. We're here, and we are the future. Our superior technology represents the future of the Commonwealth. Today, we activate our nuclear reactor, ensuring that we will persevere long after the world above ground ceases to exist, ensuring that mankind has a future. We have no desire to interfere in the unimportant details of your daily lives. We simply insist that you do not interfere with Institute operations. To do so would result in dire consequences. Rest easy. Know that the future is in safe hands, and that mankind will thrive under our guidance.
Well, that was interesting. Now it's time to make sure that everyone hears it. How would you feel about making a little trip to Diamond City?
I could use some fresh air.
A quaint phrase, though I'm afraid the air there is anything but fresh. The radio station in Diamond City is listened to by many in the Commonwealth. If we'd like the people to hear what we have to say, it's the best way to reach them. Before we preempt their broadcasts, we need to ensure it reaches the maximum range possible. I've been assured that the necessary parts are on site. You'll just need to install them to boost the broadcasting power. Report back when you're done. We should be ready by then.
You hear about the battle between the Brotherhood and the Institute? The one at Bunker Hill? A bunch of people got killed or something.
Hi. There.
Let's try this. Maybe this goes here? Alright.
I don't...
And you go.
Okay. I usually don't... This is why.
Father has done remarkable things. He would not exist were it not.
Father has always been a little unpredictable.
Enjoy your trip to the big city. It's done then? The transmitter has been modified.
Everything is in place. It's ready to go when we are.
Good. Once the reactor is online, we'll cut into their broadcast. I'll let you do the honors. This, my friends, is the moment we've all worked towards. After all your effort, the time has finally come to start our reactor. No longer will we be forced to compromise to survive. No more will we need worry about outpacing our resources. My father and I couldn't be more proud of what you have helped us accomplish, and we look forward to achieving even greater things in the future. The Institute is now truly mankind's best hope. Thank you. All of you.
Sean.
It's almost hard to believe. After all those years of hard work, here we are. We've arrived. Look what you've made possible.
I did good work, didn't I?
Yes. Yes, you did. There's more work to be done before the Institute's future is guaranteed. The Directorate has convened a meeting about how to proceed. I'm not going to attend. You should be there as Director.
The nerve of that man. I wasn't expecting you to let us live. That surprised me.
Another lovely day, isn't it? Yeah.
Operating at full capacity.
The latest synth generation.
May I be the
is
first to
just
welcome you,
amazing.
sir. We're looking
Those
forward
guys
to
in
working
robotics are working miracles.
I'm happy to be here, Dr. Fillmore. I hope I do the position justice.
I'm sure you will.
Right now, we're all here because it's finally time to stand up for ourselves.
Let's not be dramatic, Justin.
There's nothing dramatic about it. We're in a position to push back, to assert ourselves here. That's what we've talked about all along.
To bring you up to speed, obviously there are groups in the Commonwealth that stand in opposition to the Institute's goals. With the reactor now online, we have the ability to not only expand synth production, but to project power to a much greater degree.
I'm sure the reactor will improve everyone's life. It's a great accomplishment.
Yes, but it's not just that. The Directorate has agreed that steps must be taken to ensure our safety in the long run.
Let's not beat around the bush. The Directorate has agreed that the Brotherhood of Steel...
As the incoming director, we felt it important to inform you of the decision and get your thoughts on it. So, where do you stand?
I agree. We hit them hard, before they have time to react to our new position.
Good. That's just what I wanted to hear.
As director, it's up to you and how we focus our efforts in achieving this goal. We'd like your input on what direction we should take. Do we increase synth production or focus on weapons development?
Synth's Institute's greatest strength. The more we have, the better off we are.
Well said. I'll see...
Progress, thanks to you.
I wish you could have known Father as we have.
Nice work bringing that rogue cinema.
Son.
Ah, there you are. You've met with the Directorate. I assume they made their intentions known? It was difficult for them to reach the decision to engage in open hostility. What about you? You agree with their decision?
It's the only way we can ensure the Institute's safety. That makes it the right thing to do.
I'm glad you agree. None what comes next will be easy. That conviction may help keep us all going. You know, Father, it's no secret that you worked with the Railroad in order to first reach the Institute. The depth of your involvement with them has been called into question repeatedly. I'm sure you can guess by whom. The question is, where do you stand with them now? Do you count them amongst your allies?
I can't lie. They are allies.
Well, I appreciate your honesty. I won't ask for details. I'm sure I don't want to know. But these people, with their twisted ideology, they seek to undermine everything the Institute stands for. Surely you can see that.
They're determined, and they won't stop. I'm sure they'd burn this whole place to the ground to free the synths.
I know. I've been dealing with them far longer than you have. Surely you can see that you can no longer work with them? That the time has come to put an end to them, for our sake, for our future. I'm afraid this is an order. The Railroad leadership needs to be eliminated. I expect a report when it's done.
I killed the Railroad.
We've heard some very disturbing things.
only a matter of time.
What just happened?
Processing. Unknown human entity. Your arrival was not calculated.
That's a strange way to say hello.
Temporarily unable. Preliminary, I was.
Well, nice to meet you, Pam.
Introductory token.
Uh-huh.
I provide for...
Uh-huh. What? That's amazing.
Caution.
Even if you're wrong sometimes, that's unbelievable.
Valentine is the man.
Caution. Reliance on this unit's predictions is deemed unwise. Mission complete. You are a rogue variable. No current or previous...
There's no need to gloat. I'm man enough to admit that I lost.
And so, the work is done. I am sorry. I know it was likely difficult for you.
It was tough, yeah.
I assure you that there was no other way. Their fanaticism wouldn't have allowed it. There is obviously one final threat the Institute faces.
Whatever it is, we can handle it.
I believe so. But in this case, what matters most is how we handle it. The Brotherhood of Steel covets technology, and has made it clear that we cannot peacefully coexist. They will eventually come for us, and attempt to take what we've spent so long creating. We need to destroy them, before they can destroy us.
You're right. We take the fight to them.
I'm glad you agree. But the problem with the Brotherhood of Steel goes beyond the edges of the Commonwealth. It's not enough to destroy them here. There are more of them out there in the world, Father. And they too will come for us.
We can defeat them now, we can defeat them again, if we have to.
Possibly, yes. But it would be smarter to put an end to it now. We will show them that if they interfere with us, the very technology they value so highly will be turned against them. We will teach them that we can appear at a moment's notice, wherever we please, and they cannot ever stop us. They will know better than to ever interfere with us again.
You seem pretty convinced this will work.
The Institute is nothing if not thorough. Dr. Lee should be expecting you in her lab. She can fill you in on the details. Time is of the essence.
We sure are.
Our advances will, in time, change the world.